The world's finest has found herself literally unemployed in Sydney after her 3-year contract with the Australian Opera ended last year. Rita Hunter, an English soprano, was offered a lead role in the Australian Opera's production of Wagner's The Ring, a production which was cancelled mid-run. Accepting the offer turned out to be a mistake which has seriously damaged her career. But despite her enforced unemployment, Rita Hunter's fans have over the past 2 weeks turned out in force to attend 2 privately sponsored recitals. Andrew Waterworth went along.
It's just like a sauna bath in here. Get out quick, otherwise my hair will just drop. You coming back?
It's not exactly the place you'd expect to find the diva of grand opera preparing for a performance.
No, I'm all right. I'm just sweating because it's so hot in this wretched little room.
We'll let you get out, I think.
It's a ladies' lavatory, actually. You shouldn't be in here.
But then Rita Hunter is about to give a recital in the Broadwalk studio, not a performance on the Opera Theatre stage. It'll be 18 months before her fans in Australia have the chance to see her sing in an opera.
Thank you, Miss Hunter.
Okay.
This is the second of 2 recitals sponsored by a Sydney businessman and his partner. Both ardent fans of Rita Hunter, both dismayed by the neglect of her talents.
It's brought a lot of attention to Rita, which is great. It's got her back on stage, which is fantastic, and a lot of people have thoroughly enjoyed the program. It's a terrible waste to have brought her all the way out here without actually putting her on operas, which she does best. Recitals are great, but an opera is what she does best.
Rita Hunter's career spans 32 years, 25 of them with the celebrated Sadler's Wells Opera Company. She's internationally renowned as a Wagnerian soprano, especially in the demanding role of Brunhilde, which she sung with the New York Metropolitan Opera during the 70s. And it was the 3-year contract to sing the same part with the Australian Opera Company which prompted Rita and her family to move house from London to Sydney.
It's a beautiful costume. Right, you've got this one up here, haven't you? No.
Sadly, the Wagner Ring was plagued with production problems, and in 1984, after staging only half the full opera cycle, the Australian Opera abandoned the project. For Rita, this was a disaster.
You see, from 1973, my international career took off, and I had contracts with the English National that enabled me to go for set periods each year to do my world trotting, as it were. And I think in retrospect, of course we can all be very clever in retrospect, I should have had the same sort of contract here and said, yes, I will stay for 3 years or however long you want me to stay for, but there must be certain periods each year, set periods, which I can say to the opera companies of the world, every September, October, November, I will be free. And that's the mistake I made. I literally put all the eggs in one basket and said, okay, Australia, I'm yours.
The Australian Opera Company honoured its contractual agreement, and Rita Hunter sung many of her great roles over the following 2 years. But after the contract expired at the end of 1985, the offers dwindled to a trickle. This year, she sung in only 9 performances, compared with 31 performances with the Australian Opera in 1981. These days, the image of opera is changing. For a start, it's being broadcast on television. And increasingly, it's being sung in English. Opera is trying to broaden its appeal, and that means more emphasis on looks and dramatic realism.
You're looking for somebody who is going to look like a goddess and sound like a goddess and have great musical and dramatic intelligence, and there are very few of those people about.
I was a little hurt when I went in to see the management of the Australian Opera, for instance, to say, you know, what have you got on offer? Why am I not doing this? Why? To be told that it was either a subscriber or a member of the Guild had said that they had walked out of my last Wagner concert in Sydney because they couldn't bear to look at me. And the implication was that not only are there some roles you cannot sing on stage, but if you think you can make a career on the concert platform, that's out too. Now that really hurt, and I don't think it's true.
Nevertheless, Rita Hunter took the opera company's request to lose weight seriously. She took off 4.5 stone, but instead of an appreciative response, Miss Hunter says her efforts were ignored.
I would go into the opera centre on every possible piffling excuse, you know, oh, can I have this photograph, and oh, I need a copy of this. And it was literally just to, almost to say, look, here I am, look, I've lost another kilo. And I got to the point where I thought, I'm not going to bother doing this anymore, because not one of the people who had suggested or asked that I lost weight actually said, gosh, you're looking good.
Well, that's obviously her feeling. I think that it was a very difficult thing. I mean, nobody is going to suggest that the most important thing in opera is voice. I think the fact that we have presented her in so many roles, I mean, we have been the major presenter of Rita Hunter in the last 5 years, and she will be singing with us again in 1988, is an indication of support that we believe in her.
Rita Hunter.
As a young singer, I was a great admirer of Callas, and then I began to see Callas doing, you know, the tantrums bit and the walking out bit, and I was shocked, absolutely horrified, because in my youthful mind, I was thinking, she's got to where I would like one day maybe to be, and she's abusing it. But you have to get to that position yourself to realise what bastards opera companies and managements and press can be.